That's Cindy Zahnd. She's 14 years old and been skating for 6 years, but only 1 year here in Ellington. We'll tell you how she got here. I'm Pete McClellan, and I'll have that story coming up on Game On Profiles.
Wesley Newsome is a black belt in Taekwondo. He loves all of the hard workouts, and as we'll find out, he has also become an instructor.
All right, C-jump. Good, Elijah. Let Tyler throw. There you go.
Nathan Schlesinger has been working very hard on his fencing. Nathan has improved quickly and is becoming quite talented in the sport. All of those stories on this edition of Game On Profiles. And we kick off now.
That's 6 feet. You got to get out. Don't walk.
There you go.
Get out! That's it.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Game On Profiles, where you get the chance to meet some of the outstanding student athletes from our Sarasota County District High Schools. I'm Maverick Johnson. The sport of figure skating is one that requires extreme dedication, along with all of those long hours spent at the ice rink and a rigorous practice schedule. Cindy Zahnd is one of those athletes that is committed to this routine. And as our student reporter, Pete McClellan, found out, Cindy has her heart set on one day competing in the Olympics.
We are going to do the flip-flop. Off you go.
Cindy Zahnd has been skating since she was 8 years old, and she loves every moment of being on the ice.
Well, I just think it's like a beautiful sport. I saw it on TV and I really wanted to do it.
Cindy and her coach, Alison Smith, have a very special relationship, working through practices as best friends.
We're like best friends. Yeah, we understand each other and we sometimes yell, but that's like normal, and then
Off you go.
Her coach describes Cindy as an incredibly hard worker, performing very well for her age.
I don't know quite how to explain it, but she's in this moment of adaptation. She is an extremely hard worker. She is rotating triple jumps. Some days they're very good, some days they're not so good, but then that's normal at that age with this growth rate that she's had.
Most athletes love competing and showcasing what they have practiced, but Cindy has a different opinion.
I hate competitions. I really hate it so much because I get nervous and then I just mess up sometimes, but if I do good, I'm happy, and yeah.
Cindy's coach believes that she will be an excellent competitor as she gets more experience on the ice.
She hasn't done enough yet. I mean, it's like anything else. That rolls over you. You know, that's something that you learn to do.
Like many figure skaters, Cindy aspires to one day compete in the Olympics and represent the United States. But for Cindy, she's only called the United States home for less than a year, after moving to Florida from Switzerland.
It's very different. Yeah, like school and skating is a whole new country and all. Yeah.
With a single loop, and then we'll do the triple.
A new culture and a new country was not the only thing Cindy had to adjust to, but also a whole new style of skating.
Yeah, so in Switzerland, they teach you totally differently. They teach you all the different jumps like differently, and then when I came here, she taught me a whole new level of skating.
Her coach has seen Cindy grow and improve, even in the short time she's been in the United States.
Well, more than I expected, because there was a lot of clumsiness in the beginning, there was a huge lack of coordination, and also it took her a while. Although she speaks very well English, when she first came here, she wasn't used to speaking so much English, so there was a little bit of a communication problem in the beginning as well. So, but she's done that. She's done an incredibly good job. Okay, you look gorgeous, dear. Don't worry about it.
Cindy dreams to one day compete in the Olympics. Even though she has been set back in her transition to this country, she is still on track to one day compete in the Games.
So I would like to go to the Olympics sometime. Yeah, and I really want to go. It's my big dream. You have to do in Switzerland, I had to take tests for certain stuff. And here I had to do it all over again because it's differently. So yeah, I'm working my way up there.
Reporting for Game On Profiles, I'm Pete McClellan.
So Pete, have you ever been to a figure skating competition before?
I've never been to a figure skating competition, never been to a practice, family, friends and stuff, skating around in circles is about as far as my figure skating knowledge goes.
So Pete, give me your impressions of the practice, of figure skating practice.
I was definitely impressed by her work ethic. She kept going, and a lot of the stunts and skills that she was doing were, I'd be afraid to do them. So obviously years of practice, she knows what she's doing, but I was definitely impressed by the high level of skills that she was doing.
I was fascinated in your piece, the coach and the athlete kind of best friends, but there is a bit of an age difference between the two of them. Tell me a little bit about that dynamic.
Right, especially with only being here for a short amount of time, just over a year now. But I would definitely say that there was a coach to athlete bond, and there's a friendliness between the bantering. They can joke around with each other, but at the same time be very serious in what Cindy needs to improve, and her coach can easily communicate with her on a friendly level.
It's interesting, you did mention in your piece she had just moved here from Switzerland. Give me the, your sense on her transition from Switzerland to America and all the different levels and things she's had to go over.
She said it was difficult, but I think it's for anyone to be very exciting coming to a new culture. And like her coach said, there was a communication barrier, but it's something that she's sort of overcoming with her transition. It's something that's a learning process, and as she learns new skills with figure skating and learns new language and new culture, it's something that she's very excited about.
Great job on the story, Pete. Thank you as always.
Thank you.
We've got more Game On Profiles in a minute. Stay with us here on the Education Channel.
That's Wesley Newsome. He's a black belt in Taekwondo and is also an instructor. And we'll tell you why he's fallen in love with the sport. I'm Colton, Bazenas, and I'll have that story coming up on Game On Profiles.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
There you go.
Welcome back to Game On Profiles. I'm Maverick Johnson. For our next story, Wesley Newsome, a new graduate from Riverview High School, has spent half of his young life studying the martial art of Taekwondo. Wesley has found success in his sport, earning his black belt, and he has also become an instructor. Our student reporter, Colton Bazenas, caught up with Wesley and found out about his plans for college and to continue in the sport he loves.
Steady up, Kanye.
ATA.
Chimbi for your form.
Wesley Newsome loves martial arts. He's been learning Taekwondo for the past 9 years, and it's taught him about life.
Taekwondo has taught me, self-discipline, self-control, and it's really helped with my people skills, and it helps me. I find it a lot easier doing speeches and so forth in front of classes, and having to work with other people. I find most of that a lot easier after working in Taekwondo.
Wesley has earned his black belt. He's a 3rd degree black belt. Quite an accomplishment.
Well, when I attained my black belt, it was awesome. When I achieved my 1st degree black belt about 4 years ago, that was a great milestone in my life, and I was excited. And it opened a new door for things that I got to do. I got to learn new things, new forms, new techniques and stuff that I got to learn. And that same thing happened when I got my 2nd degree and the 3rd degree that I have now. Just those ranks, advancements, it's just a great feeling as moving on, learning new and more challenging things.
Nice job. Very nice.
Wesley's instructor is Trautwein, and she has watched Wesley grow literally.
Excellent. Do it one more time.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, he's grown a lot physically. He started out being shorter than me, and now he is 6'2", so he's much taller. But how has he grown? He's grown in the way that, with coordination, balance, all the things that martial arts does provide. He's really grown in his kicking abilities, his technical abilities. I love your attitude. All right.
Wesley has also become an instructor.
All right, guys, facing forward. Yep. Kinye.
Something he's very proud of.
Well, I get to come in and I work with all age groups. We have the Tiny Tigers, which are 3 to 5. And so their class is a little different. I learn how to work with them and how to get them excited to learn about self-respect and make their own goals and stuff. Good. Come on.
Wesley has studied Taekwondo for the past 9 years, and it's become a big part of his life. His instructor says she'll miss him greatly when he goes off to college.
Remember, you want light, no contact, right, Tyler?
I'm sad to lose him when he goes to college. I've already expressed that to him and others that have gone to college. These are my children. These are, I've watched them grow, so I take a lot of pride. It's hard for me to let go, but I know that they are going to pursue their interests and really do it with the next level in life because they've been given this foundation of martial arts.
One last quick round. Ready, Sija?
Wesley will be attending the University of Central Florida, and he plans to study chemical engineering, and he wants to keep Taekwondo in his future.
It's just because, I've worked so hard on it, I've worked so long, and it's just so rewarding going through and doing this sport and working with all the people that I get to meet and all the possibilities that come out of it. So, it is rooted in my life, and I would like to stick with it for the rest of it.
His instructor would like to see her prized pupil one day open up his own academy.
I would love to see Wesley. Now he is going to college, so I have to accept and deal with that. But I would love to see Wesley have his own academy. I know that one day, if he decides to do that, that he would do a really great job with it.
Wesley has done a great job at Taekwondo, and he's also done a great job as a student. And the best part of martial arts for him is...
I think the best part is, all the people that I get to meet, all the students that I've worked with. Like most of the instructors here, I hang out with them outside of Taekwondo. So I've met some great friends, some great students. They're always a blast to work with, and it's also fun to have a way to stay fit and stay sort of in shape. So.
Wesley Newsome, one talented black belt, and a talented college-bound student who has learned numerous life lessons through his passion. The sport of Taekwondo. Reporting for Game On Profiles, I'm Colton Bazenas.
So Colton, are you familiar with martial arts at all?
Only what I've seen in the movies, really. I've never really been to any competitions or anything like that. No, I'm not really familiar at all.
So Colton, tell me, what did you pick up on the sport of Taekwondo while you were there?
While it is a very serious sport, while you train for it, you become really close friends with who you train with. It's a very friendly environment, so that I guess no one gets hurt or hurt feelings in a fight.
You know, it's interesting. He mentioned self-discipline in there. Did you pick up on how that could help on him in all aspects of his life?
Well, everything that I saw was he was very controlled in everything that he did, even like the way he walked and his posture. He was very proper, and he knew, and I feel like he got a lot of that from practicing Taekwondo.
So Colton, he's been doing this 9 years. He's also an instructor, but he excels in the classroom at school. Do you see a correlation between the two?
Oh yeah, like they say, I mean, every teacher is a student first, so he has to be a great student to be a good teacher.
So Colton, the next step is UCF, going to go to college, and chemical engineering?
Yes. He said that is going to be his main focus, and while Taekwondo might fall out of his life for a little while, he's definitely going to bring it back if it does. And if he can't continue it during college, he's definitely going to get back to it as soon as he can.
And I guess in closing, you know, he may get away from it a little bit in college, but his instructor seems to think he might be able to own his own place at some point. Could you see that happening?
Oh, definitely, because he was very friendly with his students, and he's a very nurturing, good teacher that I could see, and I think he could definitely handle that.
Colton, thank you so much for the great story.
No problem, thanks.
We've got more Game On Profiles in a minute. Stay with us here on the Education Channel.
That's Pineview sophomore Nathan Schlesinger. He's only been fencing for 3 years, and he's come a long way in the sport. You'd be surprised at the level of talent he's already beaten. I'm Liz Leone, and I'll have that story coming up on Game On Profiles.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Game On Profiles. I'm Maverick Johnson. For our final story, Nathan Schlesinger has been practicing and working very hard in the sport of fencing. Nathan has improved very quickly and has even won some matches against much older foes. Our student reporter Liz Leone went to one of Nathan's workouts and found out why the sport of fencing is so important to him.
15-year-old Nathan Schlesinger has just been fencing for the past 3 years. After trying out a camp at the Sarasota Fencing Academy, he really took to the sport.
Just had seen it in movies and things and thought it was interesting and decided to try it out. So I've come to class here.
Nathan says that from the start, fencing came easy to him.
I started fencing and it seemed to really click with me. I understood it and pretty much learned the rules pretty quickly, and it became a lot of fun.
All on the feet.
Richard Georgia is Nathan's coach, and he compares fencing to a game of chess, two things that Nathan definitely excels at.
He is good because fencing is like physical chess, okay? And he has the ability to change a strategy if something doesn't work, the ability to actually set up his opponents, just like in chess, which Nathan is also very good at. He can set up his opponent and then execute a plan of attack, and he does that very well.
Nathan has only been fencing for 3 years and has already gone up against top college athletes and beat them. His coach says that when his mental game is on, he's hard to stop.
He currently, competes against college-level fencers all throughout the year, and in a lot of instances devastates some of them. But in other instances, he will be head-to-head with some of their best fencers, which is really impressive. There you go. That's the right time to ski. Excellent.
And I've gotten to go up against like college students and adults that have been fencing for decades. And it's really interesting to go up and fence at the same level with these people and really earn a lot of respect among these people. and it's just an interesting experience.
There you go. Good time to counterattack.
Nathan knows how and where to focus his energy when he needs to get to work on the mat.
Well, it's better to stay controlled and stay precise and really focus on what's going on in the fencing. But the adrenaline definitely does start building after a while and start moving a bit more faster and a bit more wild.
Nathan feels that you must have the quality of grace, and that is essential for successful fencing.
There's a certain amount of grace involved with fencing, a bit of finesse that you don't get in some other sports. Things like boxing, it's a lot of sweating and punching and bruises, but in fencing there's a lot more flowing sort of actions, and it's much more graceful, much more enjoyable to watch, in my opinion.
Nathan is now competing at a very high level and working towards earning a college scholarship.
Nathan he's now a C-rated fencer. Becoming a fencer at that level puts you at a pretty high level. Highest level rated fencer would be an A-rated fencer. If Nathan gets into the B-rated range, which he's only been about winning one fencing match at certain tournaments away from getting there, that puts him into the scholarship range for fencing, which is pretty impressive at his age.
Nathan is looking forward to graduating in a couple of years and heading up to New England, where some of the best fencing communities in the country are located.
Well, some of the best fencing communities are in California and New England, so I really want to go to a college in New England because that's where I'm from, and it's also a very large fencing community there, very high-level fencing going on.
Yeah, he has a lot of opportunity to grow before he goes off to college and go to one of the, a lot of the Ivy League schools. Every Ivy League school, I believe, offers fencing.
Reporting for Game On Profiles, I'm Liz Leone.
All right, you guys are good. Mass off, salute. Good job. All right.
So let's start off with this, Liz. Prior to the story, what did you know about the sport of fencing?
Absolutely nothing. I'd never seen it before.
So Liz, tell me about this. What was new to the sport of fencing to you?
It's very graceful. It's all about finesse and moving in sync with the person you're going against. It's really cool to watch.
So Liz, tell me, how did he develop this interest in the sport of fencing? It's a rather unique sport.
Well, he said he wasn't very good at any other sports he tried, so he just decided to get involved in a camp one summer, and he just took to it immediately. He loved it.
So he says this sport kind of came easy to him as an athlete. Is this something that if something comes a little bit easy to you, it motivates you to even practice it more?
Definitely, yeah. I think it kind of clicked with him because it's a mental sport too. He's very intelligent, so everything just fit together for him.
I guess the next step, if college goes well, he performs there with the Olympics, is that something that could be possibly in his future?
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. He wants to go up to New England and hopefully play in college because he's beaten some college fencers already.
And he's only been doing this for a short time, right?
3 years.
Liz, great job on the story as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've got more Game On Profiles in a minute. Please stay with us.
I know, 2 seconds. Hang on, just stand still. Stand still, love. 1 second. I know. Just okay, go, go, go. No. Boys, hang on, boys.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Well, that'll wrap up this edition of Game On Profiles. We want to thank all of our student reporters for their fine stories. For all of us from Game On Profiles, we thank you for joining us. I'm Maverick Johnson. Game on.
Get out. Don't walk.